Well, look at you with your race line and cornering in this thing. Come on, baby. Go, go,
Okay,
go,
I mean,
go.
look, okay. Let's put it another way. There's enough power here. There's not power that's going to impress anybody.
True.
Because that's not what this is for. This is the icon. The origin of the CUV starts right here.
Kinda
the Lexus
does.
RX, we've called it the egg forever.
It's weird, isn't it?
This is the 5th gen. It's been out since '98. Not this generation, but in general. The RX
This
been
car's been around for 30... No,
Seriously.
it's
But this is the thing that started it all. That 5-seat CUV where everybody sells 4 or 5 in silver was started by Lexus right here.
Iridium.
Iridium. Yes.
Okay.
With what was it? Crazy bamboo?
Macadamia.
Macadamia.
Ash bamboo.
Ooh, I feel better.
Breakfast in Hawaii is what it sounds like.
So this is Lexus doing the latest generation of the RX. And the first thing I want to mention is the Predator maw has gone.
Great cars, great roads, and all the reasons we love to drive.
Road trips, comparisons, test drives, and podcasts. This is Everyday Driver.
It's more like an indication of the maw. It's just a vague allusion to the maw.
They have backed
Things
off
have
from the
changed.
Predator maw that's been on every car
Yeah.
pretty much since we started our show.
Yeah.
I mean, we coined the term Predator maw for that styling when we first started this show, and they are finally actually taking it off their models. But I noticed something when I first looked at it in photos, and I thought, really? And then I waited till I saw it in person. I looked at it some more, and I thought, I don't know. I'm going to look it up online, and I'm going to check, because I think somebody in Lexus design is obsessed with classic movies and TV shows, especially classic movie and TV villains, because we had the Predator mouth.
Yeah.
And now the front of this, look at it. You got to go side by side. We'll show it to you. It looks like the Cylon helmet, the villains from the original Battlestar Galactica. It looks like one of those. Their mood board is like 70s and 80s TV and movies.
Well, designers are always looking for a theme. Some
a
sort of
Cylon.
theme. Wow. Well, this is on a completely different platform. It's new for this entire series, which comprises 4 RX flavors. There's the RX350, the 350h, which we are in.
Yep.
Then there's the 450h Plus. Then there will be, and I'm actually interested in driving it, the 500h Performance F-Sport all-wheel drive.
Yes, which is going to have rear
In
steer.
some kind of order. Of
Yes, all of those things are there, plus rear steer.
Performance egg.
A performance
An
egg, you're right.
F-Sport egg.
Yes. And this has gotten big now. Now, it's always been okay, decent amount of size. It's the thing, again, that pioneered the 5-seat CUV. I parked this next to my wife's first-gen Cayenne.
Oh, yeah.
This is bigger.
Oh, is it?
It's big.
It is?
Especially the nose. The nose is significantly
The nose
higher
is
than
longer,
the Cayenne.
yeah.
And there's a lot of space. There's similar space to a first-generation Cayenne, which would have been bigger than the Lexus egg, and now no longer is, which is very interesting. I mean, and I use
Sure,
that as a compliment.
sure.
That means good usable space. Is it exciting to drive? No, it is not. But,
Nope.
but this is a showcase for what Lexus does so well.
You're absolutely
It's
right.
quiet. The seats are supportive. They're not sports seats, but they're supportive. Like, let's go cross country.
Okay, yeah,
The materials in here feel nice. Thank God for the new screen here.
I know.
The user interface has been so terrible to Lexus for so long. They have leapt forward past themselves to probably, I would say, the upper third of usability. It's
Sure,
good. It's
that's a
solid.
compliment, sure.
And considering
I like
they were
that, yeah.
far at last, it's really helped. So, but
Well,
this
plus
is,
that's made the weird cocaine mirror go away. You know, the
isn't that
thing
strange?
with
I don't know
all the
what we're gonna
Lexi,
do.
it had the cocaine mirror on the other side.
But all the reasons that you buy a Lexus, which is not for the cocaine mirror, it's for all of the reliability, it's for all of the service, it's for the fact that it just works and runs and looks nice and will be running 10 years from now. The original Lexus egg, you see them on the road still. All of that is showcased at a fantastic level right here. This is what Lexus does right.
I agree with you. This is now the modern interpretation of what Lexus is expected to be by their owners and what everybody else who has not driven one thinks a Lexus drives like and what experience is like.
You're right. What you think this drives like, that's what it drives like.
Well,
You're
yes,
right.
yes,
No,
but it isolates you, and that's what Lexus means, is isolated and coddled and cosseted and don't feel the road, and that's great. What this platform has done for the RX is lighten it by 200 pounds. The chassis itself is 200 pounds lighter. It's also got a lower center of gravity, and I think the suspension makes this thing ride better than it ever has.
Yeah.
It's got a great ride to it. The suspension has been revised. Many things have been done to make this a better vehicle. And it's a little bit lower than the prior RXs. It's a little bit more car-like, less SUV-like. You don't kind of climb up into it anymore. You don't even stop walking, kind of the joke you've made. You start to sit down a little bit in this.
A tiny bit.
Which is interesting to me.
It looks like a hatchback at first glance. It's actually
it
big when you get next to it,
It's a large hatchback,
Yeah.
but the proportions are strange. This platform has also made a strange front overhang in comparison to the rear. And whatever you've decided the front maw looks like, the face of the vehicle,
It's a silo.
it's got an overbite. It's a prow. The top edge of the hood is now the leading element, and the rear lights are now the trailing element.
Interesting.
There are enough themes on this car for 5 vehicles. Everywhere you look, you try to find something that you relate to, your eye lands on something, you think, there's another theme. There's yet something else that doesn't seem to relate to anything else. I would love it if this were backed off. Create a theme, and then the body panels were very clean and simple. But at that point, we'd have a Mazda. It wouldn't be a Lexus. And Lexus has gotten away with and established they are almost a Gundam character. But in comparison to the vehicles in Japan, this is boring.
They walked around the design studio and said, I like all of those, all 5 of those, let's put them all on.
Yes, that's kind of what it feels like. But they've done a great job making it a unique styling. Love it or hate it, this definitely does say Lexus. And now the platform has made the back seat actually really usable. I also think the seat backs are thinner. There's great rear seat space back there for you and I. Great.
Yes, it's very
space.
good. This is a very usable 5-seater. This is
Yes.
it's not trying to be a 5-seater. It's a usable 5-seater with good cargo space. Look, we have Apple CarPlay up right now with the podcast, our podcast. That's pretty nice. It's got all of the other good stuff. I mean, all of the actual normal stuff that is Toyota stuff is well thought out, but you constantly have HVAC. As much as I don't like it touchscreen, it's constantly here, but your temperature is a knob.
Yes, which is
as
nice.
is your volume, as is defrost and recirc, and these kind of things are actual buttons. So the stuff you want to just reach for instantly and like know where it is, all of that stuff is tactile, not touchscreen, which is also a victory.
They've really put a lot of thought into this. I really appreciate that. Even though I'm not a huge fan of the shifter, if you drive a Prius, you'll be right at home. It'll take just a minute to get used to it. It's fine, it works, but what it's done is really clean up the entire interior.
True.
Whereas Lexus of the old Lexus of old,
like last year. The old ones.
You had to bring your A game.
Yeah.
Figuring out a UI, and then how does this all work? What do I do here? Everybody who has a Lexus is used to that. This will bring in a new generation of buyers.
Yes.
And they'll just get it. And it is very distinctive to Lexus, which I like. Look around this car. It's got a really heavy front overhang. And that's because of the architecture. The engine is way up there. But then the battery for this is under the rear seat. It's not the largest battery ever. And interestingly, it's a nickel metal hydride battery. It's my understanding those actually weigh more than lithium ion, slightly, but the battery itself is not very big. This is still only 4,300 pounds, just over. For a vehicle this size, that's not the heaviest thing ever. That's actually decent.
It's actually right down the middle is what it is.
It's down the middle.
It's just right down the middle of this class.
That does translate into miles per gallon. This particular model is really focused on MPG. It appears that the 350h gets the best fuel economy
I'm sure
so far. I believe the 450h, that'll be the plug-in hybrid. That will probably be better. But for a gas hybrid that you don't plug in, this is 36 combined, 37 in the city, 34 in the highway. All the other RX flavors, 450 notwithstanding, they get mid-20s.
I know.
This gets mid to high 30s
and
MPG.
Mid to high 30s in what is genuinely a large family-capable vehicle. That's the thing that I take away from it, is that it's not just like, oh, it did mid-30s, which is what most people expect for a small family sedan or a small hatchback. This is a genuinely large, like Cayenne-sized 5-seat SUV. Okay, the only thing that's surpassing it is Toyota's own RAV4 hybrid, but it's not nearly this nice. Now, it's a lot cheaper. This is $66,000, which is not cheap, but at least it feels like what the price was. And that is something I will at least back, even though I'm like, $66,000, wow.
Some of the add-ons have pushed the price up on this. Of course, the iridium paint and a few of the
more
the
for silver
features. More for silver, right.
Okay, great.
Yes, so what's interesting about the rear seats They're heated and ventilated, and they have a power recline. That's a Lexus thing. That's a Lexus kind of feeling.
That feels unnecessary, doesn't it? But there it is.
But
It's
that's
cool.
what you want.
Yeah.
And then the materials inside. This is very cleaned up. You have the ambient lighting that you can choose, all the different colors. Right now it's on red.
It's on
it
a
looks
red
like
right now,
red or
yep.
orange. But I like the materials quite a bit. Textiles instead of plastics or leather or aluminum. This is interesting.
Yeah, I agree.
It's kind of fuzzy. I like this.
It's a fuzzy door.
fuzzy macadamia.
We got a fuzzy macadamia. That's the name of the piece right there, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, that's a fuzzy macadamia. Don't eat that one.
It is. I can't do it.
Don't eat the fuzzy ones.
Oh my gosh.
That's my public service announcement for this review. Don't eat the fuzzy macadamia nuts. Those have gone bad. You can use them as interior pieces, though. Just don't eat them.
The seating position is excellent.
Yes.
The rear seat space is great. The hatch has quite a bit of room. You fold the seats down.
Yep.
This has really become luxury and usable. A really great statement for both.
It's a great revision and new version of a thing that was already working for them.
Yes, this
And
will sell.
Yes,
a
it's
lot.
going to sell very, very well. It's everything that the RX has always done well, improved and modernized. It's hard to go wrong there. You're going to drive it. You're not going to be impressed with the driving.
I'm not
but that's
expecting
not the
much.
point. But that's not the point.
That is not
though.
the point. The point is this. Stopped and enjoying the materials and sensible layout. Look, Qi charger down in here. You've got the ash bamboo door that covers everything up. I like that. Simple, clean, yet interesting shapes here. They don't really relate to the exterior.
True.
It's nice to be here, but there's a
yeah.
lot going on with the exterior. Usually, a luxury, high-end, expensive vehicle doesn't have a lot stylistically going on with it.
They're more staid. Yeah.
This is not calm, but then the interior is the opposite of that. It's strange to me. I can't say I'm in love with the exterior, but the interior is a great place to be. It's excellent to use.
Yes.
It makes sense. I like it a lot. This is not for me. This is not for
No.
you.
We're not buyers of this class, for
But
sure.
I'm impressed with what Lexus has done for the next generation.
I agree with that, and that $66,000 on one level is a lot, but when you start comparing it to other luxury brands, it's not a lot anymore.
Yeah.
All right, you ready? You
Is
got to drive it.
now the time?
Now is the time when you
Now is
drive
the
it. Yes,
time?
now's the time.
All right.
It's a Cylon. I'm telling you.
Well,
you're not a Battlestar Galactica guy,
no,
but it's a
I really-
Cylon.
I'm not.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, okay, all right. There we go. Have you noticed down here? The door handles. You just push with your thumb. I can't be bothered, so I just barely send an electrical
just-
impulse to my
yes.
thumb.
The amount of effort you do to touch your phone is with the amount of effort that it takes to open the door.
I can't be bothered to
No, there's
really
no-
put effort
You
towards
don't have a
opening my
latch,
door.
and it's the same thing on the outside. It's still the haptic thing on the outside where you touch the
Yeah.
inside. It's got a huge, beefy handle, and I walk up to it like, I'm going to pull the handle, and you
Smallest amount of real estate.
You barely put your finger around the back
I
of this
know.
huge, meaty handle, and the door goes, I'll open for you. I don't know. Maybe the handle is like for emergencies
It's
only
all
because
about the experience.
because it makes a milk jug handle look like it's not trying hard enough. I mean, it's like a big old handle with
It
this
is
tiny
a
little
jug, yes.
chink on the back.
Once you get used to it, you'll start to just be annoyed at all these other cars that make you work to get in and out.
Why is
work
the
to
handle
shift
so
and-
hard? Why do I have to pull?
I have to shift it myself.
Why do I have to pull?
Who does that?
I'd like to use my thumb or just one of my fingers. Open the doors. It works great. But apparently the whole world's annoyed by doors.
This is an inline-4 Atkinson cycle.
Yep.
This engine makes 185 horsepower, 178 pound-feet of torque, and then you add the 61 horsepower electric motor in the rear for a combined total of 246 horsepower. It isn't a standout, that's not a lot.
Nope.
When you thrash it, it'll move. Again, only 4,300 pounds, but it drives kind of lightly to me. This is all about MPG. Clearly, this
Yes.
model is aimed
Yes.
at you. If you want to commute, if you want really good miles per gallon, the electric motor acts like a turbo. This just gives you just that little bit of extra push.
When you think about that engine without the hybrid system, that would be way underpowered for this car.
Absolutely.
And mid-200s, we talk about that a lot as being an acceptable amount of power for many things. It feels like just under what you're hoping for in this. But I do think about it without that hybrid system, and I just think not enough. And this here, you're like, okay, this works.
And it's got the CVT, which I don't love.
Nope.
It has gotten better. I feel like of all the Lexus CVTs we've driven,
starting at a low bar, but
it's
okay.
It's up to, what notch is it up to? One?
Is it
two?
up to 1? We can give it 1. I'll give it a notch.
Okay, so there's full throttle on the freeway on-ramp here.
Yeah, and that's
It's not
fine.
blindingly fast, but it does move. It gets up to speed decently.
Yeah, you're never going to impress yourself with power, but if you're looking for what this does well, power is low on the list.
It is.
Like, oh, I need good passing power. That's not the point.
It's adequate, though.
Yes, I agree.
It's adequate. And then when you're up to
right,
speed
yeah.
like this, yeah, you're going.
This is
LASIK surgery.
You're getting nailed.
Yeah.
Yeah. This is about highway cruising though, or commuting. It does not shine in corners or in sudden acceleration events. That's where you just go, no, that's not very good. But that's not what this is for. If you were creeping through traffic or you were going cross country, that's what plays to this car's strengths.
Agreed. I'm getting the full Lexus experience right now. I mean,
Are you?
so are you.
Yeah.
Like it for the road trip thing.
Something I'm surprised by actually with this, and this is true of all of the new RX, but in the hybrid I was surprised to see it. The tow capacity for this is 3,500 pounds. I was expecting 1,500.
It's like pushing 4,000.
I was surprised by that because I expected it to be pretty low, but they've done well on that. I mean, I don't know how many people are going to buy this and then tow something, and that's like jet skis or a very small boat. But if you are in a situation where you want to tow something, because I have an SUV,
sheets of paper.
this can handle it. No more than paper, like plywood. We could do plywood. Big trailer of plywood, bring it.
Well, it's got paddles.
I'm not sure why.
I'm not
really
sure why
not.
either. You don't really need them. But that electric motor just gives you enough torque at a stoplight, feels okay, we're moving. And like you said, for most people buying this, it's going to be great because we're focused on fuel economy, and that's pretty impressive for an SUV.
You know what the paddles do? They add noise. I played with them at one point. I was like, I'm just increasing the noise level. In a car that has, it's got the Mark Levinson stereo, it's got a really nice place to be, it kind of shields you from the world, and then you can ruin that by pulling a paddle and adding noise. That's what they do. It's not like, oh, that got powerful.
Them.
It's just noise, more noise.
Yeah, they're here.
They're creating them for everybody.
Because
you can go into S mode, and then you can pull a paddle, and it's just, it's a noise maker.
Let's go into S mode. Why not?
All kinds of difference.
Let's make the noise.
See,
you're right, it's just noise. Did the driving experience get better?
No.
Nope. It did not. There's nothing to be found as far as steering feel. This is not the sporty performance vehicle, but I like it more than any RX I've ever driven.
I agree with that.
How about that?
I agree with that. No, I think it is a wonderful refinement. If you're a person that has had, and I know people like this that have had multiple generations of the RX, you're going to get in this one and be like, I love this. It's just not the kind of cars you and I buy. But it doesn't mean I don't understand the people that it's for and the people that it would be great for.
So Lexus really hit their market.
For sure.
Really hit that mood board.
Yes, they did. With the Cylon on it, apparently.
Cylon.
Yeah.
Look, even though it's a hybrid, you're not going to be constantly reminded somewhere on the instrument panel, look, I'm constantly recharging. I'm doing something now with the battery. A forest is growing or some sort of imagery. You're not going to be reminded. It just drives like a normal car.
I agree with that.
Which is nice. Yep. Okay, here we go. All the power.
And the handling, for that matter.
Well,
I mean, you went around a corner passing somebody. That's all I'm saying.
We
didn't spear off into the weeds.
I just observed. I didn't feel, though.
No, there's no steering feel. That's not what this is for.
That's a little bit, The engine's kind of angry, and the electric motors.
The whole system got frustrated by that experience. It was quite angry that you needed that, but it did it.
It did it. Okay.
Fuzzy macadamia.
See, isn't it nice?
I'm telling you.
It's different.
Yes.
Something new. Yeah. Oh, look at the steering wheel. It's not ash. That's like been through a forest fire. What is this?
Maybe it's ash.
Maybe that is the ash part.
Been through a forest fire.
That's
now
not
it's just
ash.
ash.
This is ash. This is like charcoal bamboo.
This is bamboo over. Yeah, that's charred bamboo, and this is like whatever the other one is. Yeah.
Arson over here.
The steering wheel is new arson spec.
It's kind of charred.